By the end of this video, you will learn 3 simple tricks which will help you spice up your chord progressions. It's really easy to implement these tricks and you can use them even if you are a total beginner. Okay, let me show them to you. I'm gonna play a simple chord progression first. And now let's add these tricks. Almost every one of us started learning guitar from basic chords. And yeah, at first they get the job done, but after some time it gets just boring playing the same stuff over and over again. So we wanna improve, we wanna add some new elements to our playing, but it's not that obvious what the next step should be. And that's why I made this lesson. I'll show you 3 simple tricks that will add some spice to your rhythm playing. They're really easy to play, you don't need to know music theory or have a great technique, just watch this video till the end and start using them right away. And okay, without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, here's the chord progression that I used in the intro. Of course, you can use these tricks in any progression you like over any chords, but we're gonna use this one. E minor, G, A minor, D. And once again, E minor, G, C, D. I chose this chord progression because it includes every open chord. You know, we got C, D, E, we skip F since it's bar chord and it's completely different story. Then we got A, G, and we skip B once again, because it's a bar chord. And let's move on to our first trick. You can use hammer-ons to spice up your chords a little bit. Here's an example, E minor. Like this, you just lift your fingers up and hammer them back down. And you can either lift the whole chord or just some separate strings, like this. And you can either keep strumming while doing that, or you can single these notes out, like this. As you can see, both of these examples sound different. Choose whatever you like. Let's move on to G chord. Here we don't lift our root notes because it will sound bad, but we can do the same trick with our index finger. Here. And you can do the same, not only on the A string, but on the D and G. So just keep strumming. Like this. And keep in mind, you can use double stops here. It's when you play 2 strings at the same time. So when I'm doing something like this, I'm not playing just the D string, but open G with it. The same here. I can play open D. It just sounds a little louder and more rich on acoustic guitar instead of much better. Okay, let's move on to A minor. It's the same as E minor. You can lift these 2 fingers up or your index finger. Once again, you can single these notes out. Now, C chord. you can lift your middle finger. Oops, sorry. Do a hammer on here, and once again, play G string at the same time, so it sounds a bit wider. Not just, but. And you can do the same hammer on the G string. This is a classic move. Every country rock guitarist uses it. Neil Young, for example, and so on and so forth. And D chord, you got your index finger once again. And you can also do this hammer-ons on D string and on the A string. And by the way, if you're enjoying this lesson, be sure to subscribe and leave a comment. You will help us a lot. And if you want to get 5 free and really useful lessons which are not available on YouTube, be sure to check the link in the description. And now let's move on to trick number 2. We're gonna add some pedal notes here. What is pedal note? It's a note that keeps ringing, keeps playing throughout your whole progression. There are a ton of examples. The most famous one is, of course, Wonderwall. You know, the chords keep changing, E minor, G, D, A, but these 2 notes, you keep playing them. Another great example is Hurt by Johnny Cash. Once you get through this part and go into the chorus. What have I become? My sweetest friend. You know, you got this G note over there. I think piano plays it in the original recording, but doesn't matter. Or, I don't know, I wanna be your dog. The chords keep changing, but you got this E note here and these open strings here. So, how can you find these notes? I'll give you a couple of places to start with, and then you gotta experiment on your own. G note. 3rd fret on a 1st string works wonders. If I play the same chord progression but with this note, here's how it's gonna sound. Or you can leave your high string open, so it will ring throughout the whole progression, like this. I just don't fret it, as you can see. You can use this D note on our B string, and that's what I did in the intro. Like this. And I also leave my high E string open, so I got this thing going on. You can fret both of the strings. And yeah, that's Wonderwall stuff, or Wish You Were Here. It's the same. So these 4 notes, they work wonders. Each of these notes adds a different mood. This one is a bit tragic. However, this one, it's like mysterious, beautiful. But just experiment, see what works for you. Try to combine these notes. Perhaps you can figure something out on your own. Just be sure that you don't ruin the mood of the song. Find a note that suits. Okay, have fun experimenting, and now let's move on to trick number 3. It's a really simple one, but you can add some bluesy or country flavor to your progression with it. It works great on A chord, and what I'm talking about is adding these notes. 3rd fret on A and low E strings. It's often used with power chords. But if you're strumming, for example, A minor chord, it adds this country flavor. Okay, you got me. You can do this on E minor. So when you got minor chords or power chords, use the 3rd fret for both E, A, and of course you can do the same on D. You can play them with hammer-ons or when you're playing D chord, you can use 3rd fret on D and A strings. Don't use low E. It's out of tune unless you got your low E dropped down to D. However, be cautious when adding these notes to major chords. You know, they sound great with power chords or with minor. But when you got major chord, it can sound a little rough because these notes or this C note here, they are minor thirds. And when we got major chord, sometimes it can sound a little rough. So yeah, be cautious. And now that you know all these tricks, I would like to warn you, don't overuse them. They are just a spice, not a main course. It's totally okay to just play basic chords. There's nothing wrong with it. Now that you know all this stuff, don't try to something like this. It's too busy, it's kinda annoying. But from time to time it's totally okay to use them. For example, once per chord. Sometimes you can just skip it. Don't overdo it, otherwise you will just hurt your sound and hurt your playing. And one more thing. Apart from knowing what to play, you should also pay attention to how you actually play it. And these 2 videos will help you a lot with that. If you're struggling with your strumming, with your pick, be sure to check this video out. And if you got problems with your fretting hand, your notes sound bad, you got some troubles fretting chords, this video will help you a lot. Don't get used to playing with these mistakes. If you don't fix them now, it will be much harder to do it later. Trust me. Okay, thanks for watching, see you next time, bye bye.